think it is must be second day for some of you. Uh, I hope you had a good first day and good starting second day. I think it's my responsibility to ensure that there is some good takeaway for all of you and you enjoy the session. So I'll be talking about the evaluation of human interaction with machines. I think I'll not be talking about the use cases, algorithms, or models or data. I think there's plenty, I saw the agendas, plenty of people are talking around that thing, so I had to be picking up something different, so I picked up this aspect. If you see currently, AI consumption is mathematical driven, correct? So overemphasize on maths. While there are other elements of AI like biology and human body structure and brain and humanics, which are equally important to understand AI. Former, which is biology, is more important to create a better AI and later refer to consume AI in a better manner. All of us will agree that brain is the most complex machine this planet Earth has, or potentially universe also. I will not talk about universe, but certainly on planet Earth, it's the most complex machine we have. And we don't understand this functioning of the brain. We have not studied enough about how brain works. And we are limited by our understanding of brain. And thus, for every problem and solutions, our answer is a big data, big compute, be it a CPU, GPU, FPGA, and quantum coming in kind of thing, or big models, because that's what we believe that how brain works. But I think let me give one simple example. See, you guys will be meeting so many people in next 24 hours. Very few face you will be able to recognize next time, right? But some beautiful lady face or a handsome guy face you will be able to recall. Correct? So certainly there is a different way of processing of such information by brain. Correct? Probably beautiful face is stored somewhere else and it's been processed differently, indexed differently, and retrieved differently. But we don't know. We believe that everything is unstructured data. Thus, we talk about structured and unstructured data. Put into your big data stack, index it the way you want, retrieval it, and apply a certain recognition algorithm, and it will work. But no, in a fraction of milliseconds, our brain works and works differently for different. Certain names you would be able to recall faster than other names. Correct? Certainly, there is something which we don't understand, and that needs to happen. And typically, we are constrained by use cases. Industries are it's a too much of information on the use case exists, or customer demands use cases. The people want to talk about the use cases, but that thought process constrains you because you are driven by the existing problems to find out the newer way of solving the problem. Right? However, we miss the point that how the AI is evolving in a different manner, and that's where the understanding of human aspiration, human cognitive capability, and human way of thinking has to be understood to utilize AI in most effective manner. And that's what I will try to abstract some of the things, that what kind of evaluations are happening and why it has to be thought out differently to monetize AI in a better manner. I think we all talk about the AI and artificial intelligence, and people like me and many more in the audience who might be speaking in some other forum will feel great about the artificial intelligence. We don't understand brain, we don't understand how intelligence works, but we talk about artificial intelligence. I'll try to show the video, which I think it's popular video. It captures the essence of how the human interaction with machine is changing. Just enjoy this video.
That's a little too close for comfort, lady.
Damn.
What, you never seen a talking gargoyle before? Welcome to Illuminati headquarters. I mean, Denver International Airport.
This is awesome.
Hello? Do I know you? close for comfort later.
Okay, there was one video. I think it was an interesting video. I think I'll make it fast. Fundamentally, it shows the kind of communications can happen potentially, but ignore it. I think we all are consumer of very disruptive technology in front of us, and we use it. Correct? We have a technology which can recognize human. It recognizes human emotions, and you can see in your Facebook, you can see in your camera. Correct? So it's all there. So human recognitions or object recognition or emotion recognitions are already there. We have technologies by which you are able to interact with machine, and machine is able to respond to your ask. Correct? We use Alexas of the world to get ourselves entertained. Correct? Today the limitations are certain few things are you can get the weather details, you can play the songs, but it's just a matter of time when you'll be able to do many more things, and you'll have more channels in Alexas of the world or voice assistant of the world. You are having technology by which you are able to listen. Correct? A machine is able to read it for you. The audible is a mechanism by which you are able to read the books. And you have technology which is able to read. So never ever in the history of the technology, this kind of technology emerged. We had a camera which could capture but it could not recognize. We had a speaker which can speak but can't recognize. Correct? So we had all those technology in a static form, but now everything has become intelligent. So don't assume that AI is yet another technology. It is a extremely disruptive in nature. We are utilizing it for the more mathematical purposes today. Correct? Forecasting, recommendations, and those are our lack of imaginations because of which you use it in certain manner. But first time any software technology is surpassing the Moore's law. Correct? Always hardware was ahead and software was trying to consume the available hardware. First time we have technology by which software is ahead, demanding more hardware, and hardware is not ready. And potentially we have a technology which will become universal UI for us. We will not even have any user interface for most of the things. It will be headless systems in future. The only interface potentially will be voice. And everything will happen. So so-called investment which we are doing in a digital experience and this thing, various people are in demand of various nature. Of course, I'm talking, it will take decades. Probably one more decade it will take, where the voice will become a universal interface for human to interact with machine. And first time we have technologies which is cutting across the spectrum, from data layer to application layer to infrastructure layer to business layer. We never had a technology which cut across the spectrum. So certainly it's unique. Don't write it off. Take it very, very seriously because it will change the way a human lives in any planet. Now let us look at what technology has done in past. Right? So biggest people who are in the industry for 30 years, they have seen this transformation in IT world. We had a mainframe, we had a client server technology, which at that time was considered as a transformation technology, moving workload from the server side to between server and front end. Then we had a web technology, again moved everything to back end, but beautiful UI. And then we have mobile, which is everything is again back end, but again a beautiful and smaller screen. But you see, in all the technology, what has changed is just look and feel. Nothing transformation about this. In each of the cases, the machine is dictating how humans should interact. Machine is dictating which field has to be filled in what sequence, which button has to be clicked. Much is the machine is dictator, human is a slave to machine. Correct? It just follows. So that is the, and only transformation is the look and feel I said, correct? There is nothing, no changes. First time we have a technologies in which human can potentially interact with machine in a human form. See, voice was the most natural way of communication for human in the era of Adam and Eve also. Right? The letter and scribe came later. So back to the natural way of human interaction, which is voice. Potentially, we have a technology while human can interact with machine in the same way human interacts with human, in which human will decide in what form and sequence you want to communicate with machine, not the vice versa. Correct? It's a big change. Power is coming back to humans because of this technology. However, imagine how we are using as a consumer. We use as a chatbot and voice bot as a customer service. Even for our own business, we are not using appropriately. It has to be seen as a dedicated newer kind of channel for your business. Like you have web channel, like you have the brick and mortar channel, conversation AI potentially is a new channel for you to promote do commerce, and provide services. It has to be looked holistically rather than, okay, I have some bill inquiry, I have some dispute, I'll reach out to chatbot. And despite doing that thing, only 2% of chatbot works. Right? And if you see, the market share of the biggest player in this space is more than 2%. So everybody is failing. Right? Be it a product side, a hyperscaler side, or service provider. Those who claim that, okay, we know this conversation AI best, it is scaled, I have the, almost every company is a chatbot, adoption is less than 2%. Something is wrong, correct? We don't understand how human interacts, that means. We understand technology, we understand the voice transcription, we understand utterances, intent, and whatever technical term we use, but we don't know how human interacts with humans. And thus, the adoption is extremely poor. So that's where the focus needs to go back to humanics, how human thinks and how human behaves. Now, imagine a world which becomes language agnostic. Today, I am talking with you in English because that is a common language understood between you and me. Suppose that world has 100 books of knowledge worth of. Right? I am accessing probably 2 or 5 books because the 95 books are in different language, which I am not accessible. Google is providing search to only the English content. Okay? So we have the information arbitrage which is being created because of language dependency. Imagine the world, the knowledge base of world will be multifold if we make it language agnostic. Imagine a situation for a person who is not able to listen, correct? And is able to still communicate because of the AI technologies. You are able to make that person communicate without changing the form factor of the person who is talking to that deep person. People who can't see, correct? They are able to communicate with by listening. They are able to get educated. In a country like India, where the educations and the language are so diverse, correct? And this technology can be disruptive. We can provide education to anybody and everybody without means of the form factor and the language. So fundamentally, if you see the abstraction of this is knowledge is getting decoupled with the medium and the form factor. Correct? Medium can be voice and text, form factor can be voice and text, and medium can be any language, correct? Now, if I remove this thing, knowledge being separate and medium being separate, then I provide ample opportunity. And country like India will flourish from the knowledge perspective, education perspective, and many other aspects. Similarly, the person who can't speak, a new life to the person. Now, it's only that we need to create appropriate gadgets and devices to ensure that it works homogeneously on an edge compute, on a 5G network, so that it happens in the most natural form, which is not that complicated. That is the easier piece. I am a Gujarati. Some of you are Kannadiga. How do I communicate? Correct? My natural thought comes in Gujarati. I have to first translate from Gujarati to potentially Hindi and then this thing. But brains does it so fast. Probably it doesn't have quantum compute kind of thing, but it does it fast because we understand that understanding happens faster if compute is more. Because that's what when I told big data, big computer, big algorithm, that's what our understanding of intelligence is. But probably it is not. My gut feel is that probably it is not about that. It is something else which we don't understand. But imagine we are able to communicate natively, we are able to listen in Kannadiga, I am able to speak in Gujarati, correct? It's amazing. So written, spoken and sign language should disappear, correct? It's only language which is my native language. Now, what we felt so far that AI will not be replacing cognitive capability of humans. Now, enter the world. Now, that is getting challenged. Our initial hypothesis that humans will be focusing on cognitive capability, machine will focus on the low-end capability, less intelligent capability, or mundane work capabilities. But enter to the world where this one is odd man out because I am from IT. I thought that code generation is important aspect. I should be talking to you, but that has nothing to do with I was trying to communicate. So if you say the art is the most important and most complex cognitive capability, very few humans has. Right? Within the human also, very few people have this capability. But AI is intruded into that forum also. Now you can have AI generated dance, AI generated song, AI generated text, AI generated paintings, and voice also. My voice can be copied very easily. Right? It's dangerous. But the fact is that the AI is touching the most unimaginable area. Of course, it's not a scale. So scale today was, okay, intelligent automation, conversation AI, which is also not working properly. Now it will move towards these. And it will be different, potentially what is the art, what is there for artists then? Potentially, the role of human will become a reviewer rather than creator for most of the activities. Reviewer and editors rather than the creators. So new paradigm shift, which we thought that cognitive and non-cognitive, that is getting broken because cognitive capabilities also come into most cognitive capability has come into AI world. So what is new avatar of humans? Human will be the editor and reviewer and machine will be creators. That is where the new paradigm or new pivot change we have to adjust to our thinking of AI. Now, potentially humans have flaws. Thus, the painting which human generates will have flaw, unlike the machine which is perfect in nature, and potentially will cherish that flaws. Right? We will cherish the flaws, we cherish the imperfections of the world, and that will be the more in demand than the perfect image created by perfect video created by the machines. And that's where the human will still differentiate it. And of course, living portrait as well. Okay, now, if you see, all these things are happening, but where do we draw the boundary of responsible AI? Now, I'll not be talking about the theory around the responsible AI because I think many of you have read enough. Okay, it is about the fairness, it is about the accountability, it is about reproducibility, it is about biasness, it is about the explainability, blah, 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 correct? Many things. But what I will be trying to explain is that understanding nuances around it. While we understand the theory, we understand the tenets, but potentially we don't understand the gray area because human interaction with the world is always gray, not black and white. And that's where we need to understand trade-off and gray color to teach machine properly. Let me explain in a first easier example and then grayer example. Okay, before that, enjoy this one. Okay, we are getting into that area. That's why I thought that how human can make a machine biased. Okay, I think when we talk about responsibility, this gender community bias comes very forefront of the discussion, correct? Now, is it an AI problem? May or may not be, because see the actors who are involved. Student, which is an AI. Teacher is a data science who's teaching the student that how certain thing has to happen. And content is your data. What outcome of AI is depend on what teacher and content is there, correct? So if you're having the data which is biased, certainly AI will behave like bias. If data scientist is not taking out the data and cleaning up the data and training in the right manner, I think the AI will be biased. So I think rather than saying the AI is biased, we have to say that how AI can find out the bias. Because AI has the ability to find out the most subconscious bias which human might be doing, correct? You are taking certain decisions, your data may have certain insights which tilt towards bias, while cognitively you are not doing bias. Right? So data has the ability to figure out that as well. So figure out the way of identifying bias, use AI as a technology to find the bias rather than trying to blame AI for bias. I think this whole responsibility is a very dangerous subject, I would say. Personally, I find it very dangerous while everybody wants to talk about this piece and it's a CXO talk, correct? All CXO wants to talk. But I think take it case by case basis, understand the nuances and go move forward. Otherwise, we'll be succumbing AI to this CXO platforms, correct? And it will reduce the speed of the adoption. It's important, every aspect is important, but we have to go carefully. And that's the point I will try to draw for next example. All of you know the cricket? Duckworth-Lewis rule? Have you understood ever? Have you experienced that your team was in receiving end and it was not fair for you because of Duckworth-Lewis rule? Correct? Now, the feeling of fairness has nothing to do with the Duckworth-Lewis rule. Now, this is where the gray area starts. What is fairness? Duckworth-Lewis rule was known to both the team before the match starts. Fair enough? It is applicable to both the team. Fair enough? It is applicable to both the team in same manner whenever the situation arises. Fair enough? So there is nothing wrong, nothing unfair about the Duckworth-Lewis, but we still feel the unfairness around the thing. So it is not about the rule. It is the situation which you feel because of that it is unfair. Rule might be incorrect or correct. It might have been not even designed correctly. So we need to understand fairness and the correctness or incorrectness, draw the line between that thing. And sometime in this scenario, because you don't understand, it has not been explained to you properly, that's why you feel unfair. Right? I can try to explain that one, but I think it's about the function of the remaining overs and wicket out. There is a percentage of score which will be applicable to you. That is a metric. It's a simple metric, but nobody is educated, and why this metric is the right metric, that also nobody is, because humans would like demand, okay, this is not good enough, but why it's 85.1, why not 85.6? Nobody has explained. What is the data? Three decades back, 4 decades back, this rule has been created and still remains same. Correct? So I think that at times the explainability or correctness, incorrectness becomes the fairness issue. And that's where, and if it is so confusing, how you teach machine to being fair? So it's very important that we understand these nuances first as a human, because machine will start behaving exactly how you train it. If you are confused and you don't know what is fair and what is unfair, likelihood that machine will also not understand. Now let me give an example of a simpler case. You all take loan, you get a credit score, and you are given the loan based on that. Everybody understands, it's well accepted norms in the industry. Whether you are able to explain, you need explanation. Yes, of course you need explanation. Are you been explained today to your satisfaction? Probably no, because the person who is sitting in the counter doesn't understand also, right? He just said the system has given me the score, so I don't this thing. So this problem of explanatory exists for before the advent of AI as well, correct? And it's working in a reasonable good manner, but you need an explanatory for sure, because it's a personal loss to you. Now, does it mean that I need explanatory everywhere? Of course, because you may say that, okay, this slide also I explained that explainability is critical to define the fairness. This example also tells me that explanatory should be there. Then let me look at this example. You get a weather forecasting every day, correct? And you just read it, you consume it, and you do whatever you have to do. Do you seek the explainability? Do you seek explanation? No. Even if explanation provided, will you understand? Probably no. So you will have to figure out the situation where the explanation is critical for you and where it's not, because there is in business, there's a ROI, trade-offs, and ability to explain and ability to understand the explanation. Correct? All the contextualization of this thing has to come into picture to figure out what is to be explained and what is not to be explained. I gave these examples so that you understand nuances around the responsible AI. I'm not going detail into each elements, because those are, I think there is a session later on in the evening also where there is a dedicated session on responsible AI. But this to understand what are the nuances, how do you take care of this subject in a practical manner. Now, this is something which is never written on responsible AI access. Any book you write it, any book, any deck, any material, the future proofing of technology is never mentioned as responsible AI. But I think it's most important for the large enterprises to future proof, and those who are in IT, data science world, CTO, CDO or CIO, I think they are responsible to their enterprise to ensure that the AI consumption in their enterprise is a future proof. And let me explain what future proof means here. See, AI is still evolving, correct? Speech transcription probably is good at Google today. Tomorrow it might be Watson. Next day can be somebody else, correct? It's still evolving and still changing. There is no clear leader in the space, and technology is rapidly changing. So you should be able to adopt the technology irrespective of what you have chosen currently. You would have chosen current technology for certain reasons. Now technologies are changing. Are you able to change it quickly without impacting your business? So that is about protecting and architecting your AI in manner by which you are able to take it out something and take it in something else. Correct? So that is how you should be designing. Another example. Today most of the AI inferencing happens on CPUs. Correct? You have the containerization and deployment on CPUs. Tomorrow when complex use case starts, more computer vision, video, audio related will coming, you will need a GPUs. Okay? So is your deployment is future proof from the compute type perspective. Okay? Compute type is CPU, GPU, FPGAs and quantum in future. Okay? Are you able to future proof that thing? And compute provider also. correct? You have the HPs of the world, IBMs of the world, and other people. So compute type providers and the AI providers. Are you able to make it agnostic? So it's very important that you design it to ensure that it's agnostic, and it is a part of your first. I would say it's the first you have to, as a bare minimum, you have to do as a CIO, CTO, or CDO to ensure that your organization is consuming AI in a future-proof manner. Of course, this dangerous slide. I think it's scary, but I think today the usage in a public forum is of course fake news and fake media narrative by political parties. All those things are dangerous, but there's no real answer. These are real risks, real happening, but there is no real answer, easy answer for this thing. And this is an area where a lot of work needs to happen. And the real, whenever people talk about the AI is dangerous, when Elon Musk says that it is dangerous because of these things, deep fake, my voice authentication, which today people have started, okay, OTP and password is not good protection, biometric and voice is a better protection of any data. Now voice itself is getting copied. Right? What do I do? Right? I don't have answer to that right now. Right? Or see, today your password hacking gets limited by the compute and speed and all those things, because by the time you do the timeout happens. With the quantum coming into picture, you will be able to do the multiple permutation combination in few seconds. There is all likelihood that your password will be hacked. Right? Now, how do you deal with that situation? Right? So these are the emerging challenges. More and more adoption happens. These challenges needs to be addressed, but the mitigation is still not ready in a perfect manner. The attack is well defined. It's happening, but the mitigation is still not in place.
Your wrist is your key to the wonders of the Avalon.
Anyway, I think video is not working. So thank you. I think that was a video in which I think if you have seen the Passenger movie, that guy wakes up after 25 years, spaceship.
Your wrist is your key to the wonders of the Avalon. Please make a selection.
I think it's not working. It was supposed to be sleeping for 100 years, and after 25 years wakes up, and because of some system issues, now he tries to get a coffee in the coffee machine, because he had purchased a ticket in spaceship which is not eligible to get the cappuccino, cafe latte, or the exotic cafe. He gets some large black coffee. Now, it is an example of dumb machine. Correct? It is not able to understand the context, situation in which that person is there, and it's telling that, okay, you are not premium ticket this thing purchaser, and that's why you have to buy some black coffee, standard large coffee. So I think being a cognitive, getting contextualized knowledge is important to apply AI, and thus AI has to be human centric, keeps human at center, if needed, keep human in loop as well, and that will amplify human potential, and don't limit your imagination to the use case available in the market. I think that is a core takeaway, because the use case are still solving previous problems. It is not teaching you how to imagine your business differently, how the paradigm shifts are happening in a human interaction machine. Once you start understanding, you will start looking at differently. One way to solve this kind of problem is not look at use case. How do you see that what will happen 10 years down the line? And then come backward. Today, what we build our IT and priorities that what we have today and create a stack upward. The easier way to look at, because imagination 10 years is easy, and then come back reverse order. Then you will find out the way that what should happen in right sequence. Otherwise, we'll keep doing certain things, which is the yesterday's problem, yesterday's solution, done it in a better manner.